Welcome to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Main, awesome wife and dog mom for life. I'm a sex therapist turned sex coach, and I run a successful business selling relationship enhancement products. I absolutely love talking about all things sex. So you can expect this podcast to explore all things related to women's sexual health because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you discover and embrace what brings you pleasure so that you can own your sexual self. If that sounds good to you, then keep listening and let's fucking do this. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, have to get away. We are talking all things vacations today, you guys. Vacation sex, traveling with toys, how to have the most fun ever. I'm so pumped. So pumped. Jazmin and I connected. Her and her friend Chanel were running the Wild and Raw podcast, which is currently on a break, but that's okay. We connected together. We had an amazing, incredible interview together, and I immediately fell in love with Jazmin and everything that she is doing. She runs FeMAVEN Getaways. Like feminine, literally, she hosts girls' retreats, girls' vacations for people, for women. I mean, literally so amazing. So we're talking today, oh my gosh, again, all things travel sex, travel rendezvous, hookups, and so much more. Traveling with sex toys, which I do often and which I think scares so many people. So I'm so pumped. So a little bit about Jazmin. She never shows up to a party empty-handed or without her vibrator in her purse. Oh my God. Do we just become best friends? I think so. She is the go-to person in her group of friends to plan the next happy hour, bachelorette, or weekend getaway. Not only is she obsessed with travel, but she also loves helping other women get confident with talking about sex. Her bottomless brunches typically end with a trip to the sex store to make a new purchase. Jazmin is the founder of FeMAVEN. I think it's FeMAVEN now that I see it's FeMAVEN. FeMAVEN. She's going to say it on here. Getaways. She believes that kale and yoga don't belong on every vacation. Her modern girls' getaways are centered around culture, connection, and having a shit ton of fun. I'm telling you, you need to follow her on Instagram. She will tag her handle on here. You'll see it on my social media. You need to follow her and also the FeMAVEN's Getaways page because Jazmin, I'm not kidding you guys, she has so much fun. Every time I see her post and her trips, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm legit planning to go on one of these future trips that she plans because it looks so fun. And how awesome to be able to connect with other women from all over around the world from different walks of life. Like, I just love what she's doing. So anyways, without me continuing to babble on, let's jump into this interview. Well, thank you. I'm super excited to have you on again. When you reached out, I was sharing in your bio that we recorded a podcast. I think it was a year ago now, and it never made it. That's okay. Stupid tech issues. We'll blame Mercury retrograde or whatever the fuck it was. But I'm excited to have you on. I feel like when we met instantly, I connected with you, and I love what you're doing with the girls' getaways and stuff. It's just so cool.
Yeah, I know. I was so sad equally that episode never came out, but I mean, it just means I was like, you know what? I need to reconnect with Rachel because like we need to get some kind of content out there because the conversation was so fun. And as you know, sometimes you get on these and you're like, that was good, but who knows? Yeah. And others you get on and you're like, hell yeah, that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I said that I instantly connected with you, I'm like, you love travel and then you also love talking about sex. So it's like two of my most favorite things and you have really put them together and we're extending that and putting that together for today's podcast, which I think is, I'm planning to launch this in the next few weeks so that it does come out in summer for people because a lot of people are traveling right now, and that's the focus of our conversation today, traveling and sex.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's still an extension of like Pop Girl Summer, except like now it's just like be whoever the hell you want to be summer. It's like just go for it.
Yes. Yes, like everyone is hot girl summer, and I love the free the nips 2022. I'm embracing my no bra life more and more, and now I feel like my nipples get hard so much, and I get it. Like everybody has nipples, right? But like, oh, I get a little self conscious when I like feel like I just look down. I'm like, fuck, my nipples are hard. Like no wonder everyone's staring at me.
I went to like I guess you could call it like a business happy hour the other day. And because we're entrepreneurs, right? I'm like used to being at home and I'm not used to being professional. And I realized I went in like a crop top with no bra. And then it was a couple that I was across and I could just feel my nipples hard. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like he is staring. What do I do? Do I cover? Do I just ignore it? Like, what do I do here? But then I was like, you know what? I own my own business. Like, we're drinking wine, like we're talking about travel, like fuck it, like they're out. Here you go.
Yeah. You were literally dressing the part for your for your biz, and I feel like the same for me. You know, someone's like, oh my gosh, she's wearing them. Like I'm literally a sex and relationship coach. Like my nipples are going to be out. You're fine.
Yeah. Like tell me what you think I'm supposed to wear for what I do. Like what? And I feel like I personally feel really uncomfortable in like a blazer business outfit now. Like it's just not me anymore. So yeah, for me, it's just like I get to wear what I want to. Same. I've currently got no bra on either. Why not?
Yes. So tell us, so the FeMAVEN giveaways, how did this even come about?
Yeah. So I'll like skip over the boring part of like my credentials of like, I worked in hospitality. I've worked for big Marriott, like, Hilton's, all those kind of big companies for years in events, travel, like just pretty much everything from being like a server to an event manager. And I worked for this really unique company when I was living abroad in Australia, about 5 years ago that just really focused and niched on like creating like women's and connections. And that was more business focused than what I do. But like, there was so much magic in like how filled up my heart felt after those events and those interactions. I was like, how do I do this and attach it to something I love, which is travel? I've been to 15 plus countries. I've done solo travel. I've done group travel. I've traveled for work. So for me, it was like, okay, how do I attach the two? And so, I mean, COVID hit, and to be honest, I was let go of a full-time role one day, called in 30 days after COVID, and was like, all right, my life is over. What am I going to do? And when I took a chance to like kind of step back, I was like, I think this might be the world putting like this opportunity in front of me. So let's make it happen. And so rather than waiting until COVID was over, I just like every day of COVID, while I was like job searching or didn't know what to do, I would just like kind of put a piece to the puzzle together. And that's kind of where this created. So yeah, it's modern travel for women who are badass, who like to connect, dive into culture, and just mainly have a shit ton of fun. My joke and my tagline is kale and yoga don't belong on every vacation in my book. And it's just really saying that like, we don't need an excuse or a self-development retreat to go on vacation. And, we shouldn't always be counting carbs, and we shouldn't always feel like we need to exercise. Like sometimes the best food for our soul is just having a lot of fun. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. And I think I fall into that realm too. As I've also been on several vacations, solo groups, business, all of that. And I feel with the business that I'm in, the, retreats and getaways look a little bit different than your normal, like buttoned up, business retreat. But the most enjoyable times is the memories of having fun and going and doing the excursions and things like that, experiencing the city. And it's so incredible. Yeah, I love that you took a chance on yourself. You developed this company basically that helps women do that. And as women, we need more of that, that girl time.
We do.
And what is, when you have people that are reaching out that are interested in coming to these getaways, what do you feel like are the biggest like holdbacks for them?
I mean, I think the biggest one is like, there's tons of stats out there that women are not at a place yet where they feel like they can spend money on themselves. It's always like family first, children, career, and like getting all these dots like in a row before they can actually spend money on themselves. So that's like a big barrier is, they feel like, for a bachelorette, they're like, oh, I can spend money on that. It's for a friend. There's a reason, right? Or it was like my 30th birthday. I can spend money on that for a work trip. But just to say like, I want to travel in the ages past 18 to like 22, where we kind of were more fluid with money and just like, I don't give a shit. Like my demographic is more women in their late 20s, 30s, early 40s. And that's where we start to feel like responsibilities, investing, saving comes before spoiling ourselves. And so that is kind of one of the biggest barriers. Another big barrier is, women feel like, oh, am I going to be shy? Am I going to get along with other women? Like, will I look like the rest of them? And so really just giving like the confidence to be who you want to be. Like, I'm really trying to create a very inclusive environment. Like, as long as you identify as female, that's all that matters to me. I don't care where you come from, what your background is. Like, as long as you identify as female and like have a good time, that's another big barrier that I see often.
Yeah. I'm thinking of, retreats and stuff that I've been on and being the person that's planned retreats in the past. And that's what I thought you were going to say, is that wondering if I'm going to get along with everybody else. Am I going to have to share the same bed with somebody, right? What happens if I'm not getting along? Can I leave right away? And for the most part, do you find that it's just refreshing for these women to be in these environments with people that they don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. And, to be honest, I feel like sometimes we can be more ourselves when we're with people we don't know, which is like the funniest, strangest thing. That like sometimes, depending on who your friends are and all, I find a lot of the girls that come to me, maybe have moved past their friendship circles that they grew up in, or at a different point of their life where they want to talk about other things and they feel judged by their friends, or they're women who moved to a new city, don't have friends, or whatever, came out of a bad relationship. So it's like giving them this platform, and then me being the host, helping them develop these conversations. And, one of the things I like to say is like, people are like, ooh, but why like weekends, not day trips? Which I do, is because there's like so much magic and power in taking your makeup off, putting on a pair of pajamas, having a few glasses of wine, sitting in a hot tub around a fire on the couch, and really like developing those like pure connections. That's really where the friendships start to develop. And like, I'm lucky, and I'm sure I have friends around the world, right? Like, I have friends in every continent pretty much, lots of countries. They come here, I go see them, and I feel so lucky to have that. And I want to give other women the opportunity to have that.
Gosh, yeah, I love that. And yeah, it's like self-love and sisterhood is what's going to save the world, and you're creating that for sure.
Yeah.
And so bringing sex in the conversation, then, okay, so you have this, I'm just thinking of wine night on the couch, no makeup or hot tub conversations, right? Of course sex is coming up. I swear women talk about sex more than men do.
Yeah, 100%. I don't doubt it. I mean, sometimes I feel like if you recorded our conversations with our friends and like actually put it on like a screen for men to listen to, they'd be like, holy shit, like I thought my conversation was bad, but they have no idea. Yeah. So, and that really comes from my friendship group. Like, it's always been pretty open. I was raised in an open environment to where it was okay to have sex. It was a positive thing. And then taking that into, I feel lucky that I have close friends where I can do that. We'll be at brunch, bottomless mimosas. Next thing we know, we're at a sex store. People are like, have you tried anal beads? Have you tried this butt plug? Like, what do you do here? Like, have you done this? And then like from there, we've traveled together and we've gone to Amsterdam and watched sex shows or whatever it might be. And, I meet someone and they're like, what? My friends would never, or I feel so judged.
Yeah.
And so yeah, these conversations happen. Or also, I mean, the amount of men that I can't count that I've slept with while I travel, like, that's part of the fun. That's getting to know the culture. Like, it truly is. Like, you gotta taste Italy while you're there, not just the pizza. Like, you gotta try it, in different ways. And so yeah, that's kind of how, it's fun to say, like, I promote it, but that's a weird sentence, but like, if a girl was to come to me while we're in like Portugal and was like, hey, I met a guy at the dance floor, I think I might go home with him, or I might do this, I will set up like a buddy system and, make sure they're not too drunk, and, it's okay to make out. I don't want us to sit around and all look at her and be like, oh, she's making out with a random, like, I want that to be like, get it, sister. Like, why not? That's the memories.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm just thinking like vacation hookups. I've said this, I can't even think how many times on the podcast, but I'm a girl that has been a serial monogamous dater, right? I've never really had a point of single life. And when I was single for the time span that I was so scared of being called a slut. So I didn't even sleep around with people. Like, it literally saddens my soul so much that I haven't had sex with different people in my life, regardless. So I'm thinking of vacations and I meet somebody. How do you do that safely? You mentioned a buddy system, but what is that like the afterwards? I mean, that person goes off, you're now with this stranger. Like, how do you stay safe in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're this network of buddy systems, right? So I have a phone number. I always joke that I was like always the friend when I was younger. I'd be like, let me see your ID. I'd take a photo of the front and the back and be like, let me have his phone number. let me have your phone number. What's your address? Like all those, things. And it's something I would even do in my own town of San Diego. Yeah. So, like because we're in a different country doesn't make the men more dangerous, right? Like the men right here in our own town can be dangerous. So you've got to take the same precautions you would anywhere and, be safe with it and practice safe sex, whatever that means to you. So just having like that buddy system and like having them come back or, also like as someone of being a host of the trip, if I see they're really drunk, I'm going to make the judgment like, no, sorry, but like get his phone number. He can find you later. Mm-hmm. It's funny that these kinds of things don't actually happen that often on these trips, but it's just given women the place to be that person if they wanted to, or talk about it, or maybe they don't do it on our group trip because they're having so much fun with their girlfriends, but like the next time they travel solo, they won't be so shy about it. I mean, I Tindered my way around Australia when I first moved there, and I literally just put on that app and was like, show me around. And they'd be like, let me take you here. Let me show you this like beautiful view, or let's go on this kayaking experience. And like, I joke that that's one of my favorite ways that I got to see the country. It was amazing. And there's something so special in it, but it's having the confidence and knowing how to do it safely. And then also not getting like the slut shaming afterwards, that it's okay to talk about it and tell your friends about it. I think most of my friends are actually more jealous than anything. Yeah,
I'm sure. I would be the jealous friend for sure. I will claim my toxic trait for sure.
Yeah, I know. Coming back from I will never forget coming back from New Zealand, and I was like, I think I was there for like 5 days, and I was like, I had 3 different guys, and like had this world romance with this one guy, and it's like we met one day, we spent 4 days together, and it's like we went wine tasting. Everyone's like, how long have you guys been married? And we're like, we met Tuesday. Like, we just literally met Tuesday, but like, and I'll forever remember him. It's one of those though, we got back to reality. I went and visited him in San Francisco, and I was like, oh no, this would never work. This was not meant to be, but it was fun in New Zealand.
So funny. Yeah. Cause it is, you get into like vacation mode, right? And it's like you let your inhibitions go and you live a little bit more freely, and you eat the dessert and have the sex and, I'll have that extra glass of wine. I love that.
Yeah.
So we also want to talk about, and this, I get asked this all the time, like traveling with vibrators, right? So I think of my own trips, right? When my husband and I are going away, I'm like, okay, what toys do I want to take? What lingerie do I want to take? Right? I'm like taking all the things. I feel like I plan a toy for like every night of the trip, and then half the time, half the shit doesn't even get used, but I'm very optimistic going into it. So what advice do you give people that are wanting to travel with vibrators? Should they, shouldn't they?
I mean, like, why not? I mean, in my single days, like, I'm someone who needs clitoral stimulation. So, like, for me, especially with a new partner, like, I need a vibrator. And so I got to a point in an age, probably like late 20s, 30s, where I was like, I'm having sex with randoms and I'm enjoying it, but I'm not getting off to the point where I'd like to. How do I fix that? And I was like, you know what? These men are just going to have to deal with the fact that even if it's a one night stand, that I have a bullet vibrator in my purse, and they just live with it. They just got to live with it. So like, I just started packing it in like my going out purse. And like, if I go home with a guy that, hey, sorry. And if you don't like this, like your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
So I just, the like confidence of just like owning it and having it, and like realizing that the sex and the pleasure is for us, which I feel like has changed so much, just as much as the guy, and whatever you need to do to get there. So I mean, like, tiny bullets are obviously the easiest one, but same. I also have like a toy bag that I travel with, or like restraints for the bed, right? The hotel rooms, and you're always like at the end, you're like, shit, what did I leave? Did I leave anything in the drawer? What got caught up in the blankets? Like the poor housekeeping. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, same. I feel like I get overzealous, so like try not to pack too much because it adds weight, and also if you lose them, they're so expensive. But even for like a girls trip, like I've had so many people be like, well, why would I take a vibrator? I'm like, there's going to be plants around the pool, and if you're in the shower, like you do you. Like some of these women don't get that opportunity at home. Maybe they have kids and a husband. Like it's all about like full life enjoyment. So like go for it. I haven't done it yet, but I do want to have a trip that is purely like sex focused, where we'd have like a full sex coach. We'd go to a toy store together. I'm imagining probably like a Vegas or an Amsterdam destination that has, like strip clubs, and we really just like experiment together as women in a safe space of what that looks like. And feeling like it's okay to have your vibrator, and, airport security calls you out on it. You just like raise your head high and be like, yeah, sorry, that's me.
Yeah. And they're also never like, whose vibrator is this? It's more like, whose bag is this, right? And then they pull you to the side and then they're like, is anything going to poke me, stab me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, nope, just, you might turn on my vibrator by accident. Please don't do that because, you know, I charged it for a reason, but.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big tip. Bring your chargers or make sure they're charged. There's nothing like going on vacation and then finding out your toy is dead. Like, it is heartbreaking.
Yes, that is a great tip. And I'll add to that if you have battery operated toys, which my first tip is to upgrade your battery operated toy to something USB. But second, take the batteries out as you're traveling, right? Like that's buzzing through the airport is quite fun.
It's embarrassing for both sides. It's embarrassing for TSA as well. They're like, oh boy, like I just called this poor girl out on it. And then especially when you start adding like the whips and the chains and like the other stuff, it's just like, they're like, oh my Lord. Mm-hmm. But I find when I'm on vacation, like you said, like I'm willing to eat carbs. So like the first time I did like, a butt plug was on vacation because I was a little bit drunk. I felt like I was in a little bit of a different city where it was like more of an open atmosphere. Rather than like being at home and like thinking about like chores and the stress and just like, it was a great place to try it. And then now I can just bring it home and it's totally, you know, it's a part of my sex life now.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Again, you're more willing to let loose when you don't have those everyday stressors around. And with traveling with toys, another thing I want to mention that if you do have a USB rechargeable toy and it contains a lithium battery, that you're actually supposed to take it on as a carry-on, not in your checked bag. I feel like so many people, break the rules, of course, and check them. But there are those quick trips where you just take a carry-on. And I know so many of my friends, they're like, well, I'm not taking it through TSA. Like, what if they see it? I'm like, what if they see, like, who fucking cares if they see it, you know? Yeah. I feel like I make direct eye contact with them as they're scanning my bag, like, yeah, that's me, like, what's up, you know?
Yeah, exactly, like, yeah, I'm actually gonna have a good time, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do have a client recently that shared with me. So she has one of our dual action vibrators, which is pretty loud when it's not inside of your vagina. I will give it that. It's one that has like the rotating beads inside and it thrusts and it has a clitoral vibe. You know, it's got all the things. And that went off in her bag, like as it was coming around, like to the bag return. And she was mortified, but yeah, I will say mortified, but also in good spirits. Like, yeah, that like, she's the girl that's like, yeah, that's me. Like, what are you looking at? You know?
I remember I think I've been embarrassed once and it was around like a family trip for the holidays and it's like I had it in my bag because I was continuing on from there to go meet somebody. But I also had a toothbrush and I'll never forget the bags were like in the Airbnb getting ready and like, you know, all the dads were about to like take them out to the car and then I hear vibrating and I'm like, oh boy, like, what do we do here? Like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I need something. And I grab it. I'm like, it's not more or less like my mom. I don't care. But it was just like a big group setting with like family. And I was like, thankfully it was just the toothbrush in that setting. But I was like, this is a good one because it was a loud one. And it was like, it must have been against something that was like hitting. Mm-hmm. It was definitely, you could tell there's something in my bag.
Yeah. That's so good though. Even if it's not your electric toothbrush, just say that it's your electric toothbrush, right? Like they're similar shaped. They both vibrate. Like,
yeah. Exactly. They both do. But also, I mean, like, I think a really fun thing is going to sex stores in new cities. Obviously, depending on where you're at country-wise, like, that is my biggest thing is obviously know where you're traveling to and what is culturally appropriate. There are certain countries, like, it's just like, don't do it. Don't even try. Don't travel with it. Don't talk about it. You know, obviously don't try and go to a store or a strip club or something.
Hey y'all, I hope you are loving this episode so much. You know, I always try to bring the best of the best for you when it comes to topics and guests and all of that. And I wanted to pop on real quick and I wanted to share with you this resource that I have available to you on my website. If you haven't been there yet, you want to go to rachelmaine.com and here is why. One thing that I get messaged about so much on Instagram and Facebook and in email and all the ways that people have to connect with me is wanting more for their sex life. They are someone that is going through their own sexual journey. They might be having some sort of sexual awakening and their partner just yet isn't on board. And so this resource that I have, if you and your partner are at a place in your relationship where you are both wanting to expand, you both are wanting more for your sex life and your connection, but you're really not sure exactly what that is. You don't even really know where to start. I highly, highly, highly recommend for you to go to the website, rachelmaine.com, go under the Work With Me tab, and you're going to see the most amazing, amazing workshop called How to Create the Sex Life That You Both Crave. This is priced at $39. It is very, very affordable for couples and individuals that are looking for more out of their sex life. This is going to take you through one of my favorite tools with people, and it's called the Want, Will, Won't list. I break this down for you in its entirety. I give you the version of my Want, Will, Won't list, and I also give you a video breakdown, the recording of a masterclass I did on this a few months back, and it is truly incredible. So set yourself up for a date night, go to the website, get this resource, set it on the calendar, have that conversation with your partner. When is the night that's going to work best for you to sit down and go through this together? Pour yourself some glasses of wine, drinks, snacks, get cozy, get comfortable, turn off all the devices, no distractions, and allow yourself to really drop in and take the time to invest in your relationship with this resource. If you get this, DM me. I am so excited to hear how this has changed your life. Now, back to the show.
But, the places that you can travel to that are safe for it, like go explore, like their sex culture. Like it's so much fun. And that's with a couple or with girls, like, going to a strip club in Vegas is a whole other strip club than a strip club in California. The limits and the levels and, it just adds like a little bit of play that you can take home. The same thing with your girlfriends. Like I have so many girlfriends who had never been, and I've always been the one to give the first vibrator and to take them to the first strip club. It's kind of like my go-to. And I'm like, oh, you don't have a vibrator? Let me help you out. Or like, you've never been to a strip club? We'll go to one soon. But having those opportunities. And so, depending on the city I'm in, and where I'm taking girls, like if we were to go to Dallas, sure, I'll take them there. But if I'm going to go to certain places in Asia, probably wouldn't, do that just for safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And India too, I heard is really hard, to have sex toys. They can't even have lingerie there legally from my knowledge. It's sad.
Yeah. India, Korea, China, there's definitely, Morocco, there's definitely places where you definitely want to research. So, before you're just going at it, there's other places where it's totally, totally fine and totally safe. I mean, most of Europe is pretty sex positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What have been some of your favorite locations, either for strip clubs or sex shops that you can remember around the world?
My favorite strip clubs are actually in Scottsdale, to be honest.
Damn, I was just there a few weeks ago. Fuck.
It's really fun. I lived in Scottsdale for 10 years in my 20s. So it was a fun time, but they're kind of they weren't looked at as strip clubs. It was kind of part of our bar hop. They were great atmospheres. Drinks were good. Music was good to where you could go, and not feel for those who weren't comfortable with it. They were at a strip club so much that it was kind of a middle ground, but I really prefer a place where they can do dances on the floor rather than always taking you to the back. So there's an option to take you to the back, but I prefer to get a dance on the floor. And it's just mainly to not break up the group so much. And also some people feel so awkward going one-on-one with the girl if they've never had that experience, or what do you do? But also then you get to watch other people in your group get dances. So that turns you on, you can watch your partner or even the group next to you, right? And then you kind of get to see how all the girls work and what their communication is. And that's kind of how, I like to pick out a stripper like a girlfriend. I'm she looks fun. She looks friendly. She looks like she's going to be really sweet. And so that's, Arizona has that. Vegas has that. California doesn't have that. So that's one of my favorite places for that. In terms of sex shops, Amsterdam, obviously. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere and they're big and they're small and, they've got all the the fun stuff, the crazy stuff, just walking around the red light in general and just having appreciation for how hard those girls actually work. I can't imagine that being my all day, every day. Yeah. And they work so hard and, there's so many fun shops as well.
I've not been to Amsterdam yet, and it's definitely on my list for many reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really fun place. But yeah, and even, I mean, Vegas has this new place, which I haven't been to yet, and it's called Peppers. And they have an experience as part of the sex store where you and like your girlfriends, like as part of a birthday or something, could like go in, and then they have like a bar set up. And so you drink champagne, you have appetizers, and then they also take you through different toys, and you can touch and you can feel. And it's just like this really elevated experience, kind of looks, you know, like Victoria's Secret-esque with like the bright lights. It's not like that dingy sex store feel. And that's a place, it's on my list. Definitely on my list.
Yeah. Dang. I was also in Vegas earlier this year. I swear. Should have recorded this podcast months ago.
I know.
Yeah, I can remember going to the Museum of Sex in New York, in New York City, actually. And that was super fun. Like, you got a lot of educational background. I remember the friends that I was with, they were like, I didn't know this stuff, you know, and so even some stuff that I had learned. And I remember them having some really, really, really old school sex toys and just some crazy shit. But it's crazy to me that sex and masturbation and toys and stuff is still taboo to this day, considering how fucking long we've been using this stuff, right? Like, it used to be in Sears catalogs, for crying out loud, right? It used to be known to like cure hysteria for women, right? It's like, no, they were actually having orgasms, which releases all of the happy, you know, chemicals in our brain. And that's what was, you know, calming them down. It's insane to me that this is still a thing. So
I haven't been to that museum, but it's on my list. Yeah, it's definitely on my list of a place I'd love to go.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. They have, oh my God, the best part about it, you have to pay extra to get this, but you have to do it. So it's like a padded room, and it's like a bouncy house, you know, like you get when you're kids, but it's all boobs. It's like a boob bounce house.
So fun. Yeah.
So you're jumping on boobs. It's boobs on the ceiling, boobs on the wall. Like, it was and boobs of all sizes and shapes and colors. Like, it was so fucking fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun. No, it's definitely on my list next time I go to New York. Yeah, I think I want to say I've seen a few different people, like, I know, go there recently, and I had never heard of it. And so I'll add it to the list. Yeah.
And they have, just to add, if anybody is going here, you know, coming up, I think New York is a really popular place that a lot of people tourist to, but they also do have a sex shop attached to it, or it's probably just the gift shop of the museum, but that's actually where we got our very first sex position book. And with one of the fun things that we like to do with as a couple, if we're wanting to be intimate and stuff, and we're like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. We grab that book and we're like, okay, pick a number 1 through 200, however many pages is in it. And so then we pick a number, we go to that position, we have that sex position, and then of course I'm a fucking nerd about this stuff. I asked him afterwards, I'm like, okay, a 1 to 10, how would you rate this one and why? And then I say, okay, I would rate it.
Review, please.
Yes. Like, is this something I should suggest to clients to try?
I love that. I have a game that me and my boyfriend play with. And it's got like a spinner to start to get your clothes off, and then like cards for positions or like spanking, massages, whatever it might be. So like the spinner is kind of like a drinking game that you drink with it, and it's like, take off her shirt with your teeth. Take it off with one hand. Take it off in the sexiest way until like you're naked. And then the positions, like, it's like, spank her 5 times, or spank her until she wants you to stop, or like massage her like she was at a massage parlor, and like, take it further. Just stuff like that. And same, we typically, like, if we're like, want to do something fun, we always travel with it. Valentine's Day, anniversaries, like, it's always a fun one. Sometimes I even like just ignore the take your clothes off spinner wheel, because I'll have like an outfit on, or like some kind of like lingerie, and so he wants to like have that longer on, so we like skip that part so we can use that during the actual games. But it's one of like the easiest ways to take like boring sex, or just like everyday traditional sex, into a different level, and not feel the pressure that you have to be the creative one, right? That someone else is doing the creativity for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a card game like that as well. And it is so fun. It's like you do the activities, whatever it says on the card, only for like 20 seconds or no longer than a minute for most of them. And so it's like, it's building up that anticipation. So by the end of the game, and there's over 200 cards in it. I think when we played it once, I was like, we're getting through all the cards. It took us like 2.5 hours. Like, and it was such a fun, it was such a fun night home. But to be able to take something like that on vacation, why not? Especially if you're the person that's scared to travel, let's say with a sex toy, right? Travel travel with the sex game, it's not as, out there.
Yeah, it's not as in your face, exactly. So, but it still like elevates it. I mean, there's nothing better than like hotel sex, Airbnb sex, something about like someone else's space, right?
Literally.
Yeah, it's the best. Especially, I always joke when you have 2 beds or like 2 rooms. You can have like your sexy room, and then you can have like your clean sleeping room or your sexy bed, and you like your clean bed, like the one with all the lube and the oils all over it, and then the one that's like fresh that you get to use.
Yes, I love that. I feel like now I'm always going to request to have 2 beds from here on.
All right, now that you know, see, exactly, like, yeah, and it's like, at first, my boyfriend and then like the last guy I did was like, why 2 beds in the room? I was like, you wait, I'll show you. We've got a sexy bed and a clean bed.
Yeah, that's such a good point though. Now I'm thinking, when we travel, or even if we, last year we went to we stayed at a hotel, even just not too far from our home, but it was still just that feeling of a hotel. And it's like that stress of traveling, especially if you're traveling internationally or if you're driving far, you just get that frustration. It's like, as soon as we get to the hotel, I'm like, I want to have sex. Like I'm, our relationship needs to fuck right now because I want to actually choke you. And
yeah, because we have travel stress. Yeah, exactly. Or, what's really fun, like on a road trip, with a partner is, like a remote-less vibrator to where like, you wear it as the driver and then he has the remote like in the passenger seat. So like, throughout, he can just like surprise you with it. It's actually adds a really fun element to like a long road trip. Yes. I love that you said that. I also keep a vibrator in my car full time, and my friend posted the other day. She's like, I'm stuck at this train. I'm like, that's usually the time that I take to masturbate because why not? I mean, there's not. I've also taken a toy on a long road trip, just like solo by myself, and it's like you can do it safely. On those like middle, of the road, like in the middle of Arizona, in the middle of like the desert, like there's no cars around. You're on a 2-way freeway. Like, don't close your eyes. Like, keep it together, but like, add a little fun to it.
Yeah. And then there's me, like, feeding into my exhibitionist. Like, I don't fuck. I'm like down the street, like, give 0 fucks. I'm like, they invented cruise control for a reason. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm coming through.
I mean, I haven't gotten to that level yet. I'm like, the exhibitionist side is something new that I'm exploring. And like, going to sex clubs and all that those are new steps in my adventure. But I could see where it would be really like fun in your own town or your own surroundings to be able to do that. Yeah.
Have you ever taken the BDSM test online?
No.
Ooh, you should, if you just Google it, BDSM test, I'm pretty sure it's bdsmtest.org, but it's a pretty extensive quiz that you can take. And there's like a mild version and a wild version. But yeah, that would be super fun to take. And it rates you on like each thing. Like if you are, like a rugger, if you're a rope bunny, if you're a brat, if you're a dom, a sub, like, yeah, it's super fun.
I know I'm a switch. I like to be the dom and I like to be the sub. I like to take both roles. With certain people push me in one way, or even with like my current partner, I can switch back and forth. And that's like a playful side for me. There was an event here in San Diego this weekend, which I want to go to soon, and it's called Bondage and Brews. And essentially they had like playrooms where they were showing different tying effects, and they had vendors as well. So like for anyone looking to explore, like so many cities have fun stuff like that. It's just, you just gotta kind of like push and explore, and like Facebook groups are like a great place. I find all this kind of stuff. I'm like, what am I into? Let me search it on Facebook. They have an answer for it.
Yeah, for sure. I swear Facebook is like the new Google in some aspects, of course. Yeah, that's so good. In Detroit, they have the Dirty Show here on Valentine's Day weekend. It's an erotic art festival, basically. So, but they same thing. Like they have a burlesque show. They have old like porn playing in this movie theater room. It's at this big warehouse downtown. They have all these vendors, same thing, showing rope techniques and sex toys and just all kinds of things. It's so much fun.
So fun. I went to a porn expo when I was living in Australia with an old roommate of mine. In that, I mean, like opened my mind so much in terms of just like the industry in general of like what all goes into it. And I know there's a really big one in Vegas. That would be really cool to go to. And that's like where the whole entire industry comes together.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, so if you're listening to this and you feel like you need more of a reason to travel, these things.
Yeah, exactly. Travel for sex, travel for girlfriend getaways with couples, or to go to a different experience. Because like I said, sometimes when we're not in our own city, I feel like we're willing to explore more, or be someone else, take on a different personality. Even as a solo traveler, not even dealing with sex, just going to a new city, I just feel like I can do whatever I want to. And I'm someone in my own city will go eat alone, drink alone, movies alone. But even when I'm traveling, I really feel I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. I am just doing it. And I'm life, we only get one life. You got to enjoy every moment and stop worrying about what other people think about it.
Yeah. Great advice. Yeah. And on that note, what getaways do you have coming up, or how can people find you on social media? Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook. So it's FeMAVEN. So it's FeMaven. So it's a play on words of feminine plus maven, which is just a connoisseur of things. Or on Instagram, it's FeMAVEN.Getaways. There I post all my content, my different links to all my trips. But I'm really excited. I'm taking a small group of women to the Valle, which is down in Baja, California, in August. And essentially it's this, I say hidden, it's not so hidden anymore, but this hidden winery area that's 2 hours from San Diego, with the most beautiful architecture, amazing chefs, winery, over 100 wineries. So I'm taking a group down there. We've got a house with a jacuzzi, with a pool. We've got a 6-course chef created dinner in the vineyards, full day wine tasting with a blindfolded chocolate and wine experience down in a wine cave, which is super sexy. And then brunch on the coast, on the way back into San Diego. So, that one I'm really excited about. So you're in San Diego, or, you can fly in and join and add a San Diego experience on top of that. And then I also, if, someone is wanting to travel with their own friends, not just me taking the group out, I have curated, itineraries for bachelorette parties. So I have a Scottsdale package. I have a San Diego packages. I have a Valle package where it's just you and your friends. I make all the reservations, decorate the house, fill your fridge, all that kind of stuff. But it's just really you and your friends. I just kind of take the stress out of planning so you can enjoy yourselves. And when you arrive at the house, it's fully loaded. You're just ready to go.
Wow, that's very cool. So almost like a travel agent, yet also concierge almost, that is so cool.
Yeah. And then, coming next year, Portugal will be, one of my first destinations. And then, I'm going to take a group to Dallas as well. And then hopefully Charleston.
Oh my gosh. Portugal. All right. I need to keep an eye on the Instagram for these ones coming up.
Yeah. But yeah, everything's there. And if you join my email list, that's probably the best place. And you can just join from Instagram, because that's where I hit with the groups first to kind of give everyone a pre-sale, let's say. And a discounted price, and then I take it more to the public.
Awesome. Oh, this was so fun. Such a great conversation. I hope we've inspired more people to travel, and more so travel with vibrators for sure.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you so much. This has been so fun. Yeah, I hope that more women travel with their sex toys, or, have that romantic rendezvous wherever they're at. Don't care about what people think about you. You'll forever remember the sex you had in that country. You won't always remember the food you had or whatever it might be, but you'll forever remember that one guy or girl.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Such great advice. Thank you again so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a thing. And if you loved it so fucking much, be sure to leave a 5-star review. I'll see you next week, and until then, keep owning your sexual self.